Hey there, it's me again. As you know, Mel and I are working on a Passion of the Christ sequel. We're asking that you continue to support us in any way possible. And those of you whom have not yet donated to the Joseph's Dream short film, we want to give you a special thank you. Send those funds over to help us establish our vision. Jesus loves you, and God bless America.
The Messiah is a savior and a conqueror.
Joseph, follow me.
It's Passover again. I'm chilling with my friends. I'm cleansing all the sin and resetting all the trends. It's Passover again.
Hey out there, I'm Lawrence Thornburg, Yasharala Ben Judah III. I know you may be wondering why I'm reaching out to you from the privacy of my own home and not the Passover, which is going on right now. I was unsurreptitiously denied access to the Passover because I was allegedly accused of having the vid, which I did. I might have had a slight cough.
Yo, you can't come up here like that, man.
What you
can't come up here like
man?
that. Nah, I ain't shaloming you. I really don't want to look at you.
I might have had a little runny nose, nothing major. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have another garment. You know what I'm talking about? Super fly. What color you gonna go with this year?
I might go with black and emerald.
Black and emerald? Gonna be clean. I'm talking about drip down.
Drip down.
Yeah,
Huh?
drip down.
Drip down. Okay.
Yeah, I'm tripping. I can't believe they even accused me of sneezing on a brother in the line.
What's your name?
My name is Jedediah Israel. Should be on that somewhere.
So what? It was cold. I had a little chills. You alright?
Man, I got the chills, man. It's cold, bro. You want cold, man?
Bruh.
Man, it's like I'm hot, I'm sweating, I'm freezing, but something, man. Where you going?
If you fit any of that criterion, don't call 1-800-PASSOVER. Call 1-800 I've been passed over. Something to drink. Man, I'm sick, man.
I know that I could do to please you, my Lord, above all the rest. I don't think twice about who you love. Shows above all these nations on earth. About time it's our turn. How many chances have you given to us? Won't take this one for granted. Many are called, but few are chosen to learn.
Oh, I'm telling you.
So clean.
Yeah. More necklaces. Boy, coming in with jewelry on.
Hey man, you did it.
Telling you, I know it.
You
Wow.
walking
Hey,
there, you
I'm
look like you
telling
was
you,
in the kingdom,
I'm
boy.
telling you, boy, go. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm going to show you and prove to you that the Israelites are black, were always black, always will be black.
Listen, Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet, said back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church. Be ready for war, soon as they run to get out of the dirt. Ay. Shout out one, Tuesday. Shout out one, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out one, Tuesday. Shout out one.
Out of Ukraine and seek refuge in neighboring countries, we are getting reports of Africans being discriminated against at the border. Maybe you've seen the images. By now, they're all over social media under the hashtag Africans in Ukraine. Even civil rights lawyer Ben Crump tweeting the video out. Reportedly, it shows black and brown people not being allowed to board trains and buses to flee the war zone, being pushed back. And it is, or at least appears to be, because of the color of their skin. Right now, we're working to verify the video here at BNC and the source of it. Meantime, Nigeria's foreign affairs minister tweeted, quote, I am personally coordinating with our missions in Ukraine, Poland, Russia, Romania, and Hungary to ensure we get our citizens out of Ukraine and bring them back to Nigeria, those ready to return, while supporting those who are remaining in Ukraine. So very serious situation there. We were surprised, perhaps, not, knowing, don't know what you don't know, that there were a number of black people in Ukraine. I speak for, I think, both of us. Neither one of us is surprised that all around the globe, no matter the circumstance, that racism exists and persist.
And amidst all this, black evil Christians are praying for racist Ukraine. Look at this. They are praying for people that despise black people's guts, praying to a white God, a white Jesus for a racist regime. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, the United States of America has been bombing Somalia at the same damn time. You can't make this up, brothers and sisters. We got to leave the black evil Christian church today. Now!
These are the black community. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them in. They have been here for days and nobody's asking any questions. Only Ukrainian women and kids they are allowing in through these gates. All the places blocked and all are full of blacks. From different communities, from different countries. Nobody's talking to us.
Now, y'all see the hell that our people are catching in Ukraine. The Ukraine. They won't even let black people leave. They put white people ahead of black people. But the black Christian church, that evil institution, wants us to pray to a white Jesus, pray for Ukraine, and these people despise our guts. Y'all remember Psalm 44? Let me just get to the point that I want to get. Psalm 44 and verse 13. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen. You know what a byword is? Like when they call us nigger, coon, wetback, spick. These are bywords. African American, bywords, thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face has covered me. Why are we confused? Because in the Christian church, they keep lying to us, telling us to pray for these white people, pray to a white God, pray to a white Jesus, and everybody hates our guts. We better leave the Christian church today, brothers and sisters. Leave that evil, filthy institution. And notice ain't none of them speaking on this topic. Notice these black evil Christians are not speaking on the evil done to our people in the Ukraine. The war between Ukraine and Russia is not a big biblical issue. When you read 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha chapter 15 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, meaning weapons in their hands. That's what's going on between the Ukraine and Russia, and that continues around the world. The main issue that leads to Armageddon, or World War III, as the media calls it. Let's go. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I'm just going to get to the point. Verse 30. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 30. Also the Carmanians are Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The land of the Assyrians is modern-day Israel. If you remember the history, Assyria took over a part of Israel. That's what it's referring to. Isaiah 14, verse 25, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, meaning the Lord's going to destroy modern-day Israel, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. So modern-day Israel is going to be destroyed, and the Lord is going to use the Carmanians and the Arabs to do it. Let's jump down to verse 29. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina. Palestina is modern-day Palestine, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. Don't rejoice because the white man in Israel is destroyed. Watch this. For out of the serpent's root, meaning from America, shall come forth a cockatrice, meaning a serpent, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent, meaning a missile, right? Then when you jump down to verse 31, howl, O gate, cry, O city, thou whole Palestina art dissolved, meaning Palestine is going to be destroyed. For there shall come from the north a smoke, meaning America, North America, and none shall be alone in his appointed times, meaning of destruction. Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. You know what day it is. That's right. It is Shout Out Tuesday. It's Shout Out Tuesday. And you know how I love to read your letters of exhortation and your donations of support. But before I do that, I often love to cover a little bit of history. So what we're going to do, get your libations, get your snacks, get your comfort food, get whatever you need to get. Sit down, relax, chill out, and take a gander at today's glimpse into our history. All right, I got the Revised and Expanded Holman Illustrated Bible Dictionary. I'm going to go inside the book and show you some information that Christianity has hidden for centuries. I'm going over to page 224. Page 224. Let's look and see what it says when you look up the word black. Black often used to denote the color of physical objects. Hair, Leviticus 13:31, verse 37. Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 11. Look at the next word, skin. So skin is referred to as black too. Let's see the reference. Job 30, verse 30. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5 and 6, and Lamentations 4 and 8. Wow, wait a minute. So for all this time, we've been bringing out Job 30:30, Song of Solomon 1, Lamentations 4 and 8, and Christians and stupid Christian apologetics been saying, no, you're not ready. We wasn't ready. It's not talking about black. No. Now they need to shut the hell up. All right, here's the next book entitled The Varney. Now, this is not the original copy. This is in English. Let me show you. Yeah, right over here. I'll just go to this part. This is the English version. This is not the original. Remember, the one I had was from Romania. Okay? And it was stolen. I went to this stupid moving company and they stole it. And I filed a complaint and all that. I'm so furious. So I had to order this new English version. It's not as good as the original. Nothing ever is. But I'm just going to show you what they have on the inside, which is beneficial in terms of history. All right. You know, as a matter of fact, let me go back to the beginning. Built at the command of Stephen the Great between the 24th of May and 14th of September, 1488. Varney is today one of the best-known Romanian medieval monuments. So this is a church that was built in 1488. So we're going to take a look. Gather your kids around, gather the kids. The children can look at this. Kids can look. Okay, this is the Church of the Varney in Romania. See somebody parked their car over there. But what I want y'all to see are the icons painted along the outside of the church. And this is what we're going to get into today. We're going to take a look at the images painted along the church. Okay, here's another angle from the book. You can see that there's things painted, pictures painted. We didn't go in close yet. I'm just showing you the outside of the church. This was done in the year 1488. Here's another angle. Now, when we go in the book, many of these images that's on the outside have now, as of this year, been whitewashed. The copy that I had, the original copy of this book in Romanian, which is like a Russian dialect, similar to Russian, most of it, 80% was still black. So if you get this book, a lot of it is whitewashed. They got very few images that are still black. But I'm going to show you regardless. Okay. This is another angle, more close up on the outside of the church. You can start to see some of the black images. Let's go further in. All right. I wonder who this black fellow is. Let's see. Genesis, Adam plowing. See, they got Adam black. Next picture says Cain and Abel on the north of the facade. Cain and Abel, black. Okay. Now I can see myself how they started to put the strokes in the hair to change it and the light in the skin. I'm going to show y'all. Watch. Y'all just bear with me. Here's an example. It's 24. This says Eve. Black. Do y'all see that? Eve, black, not Mary. Let's get some more. You can see some of them black here, but look at the faces. It's falling apart. Look, white. It looks like they already whitewashed these. That's how it looks to me, whitewashed. But I'm gonna keep on going through the book. Whitewashed. Let me see. These are all whitewashed here. I don't like these. Some of y'all might like some of these images, but to me, they're just too light. It's too light. Let's keep going. Now, y'all can see these images here. Darker, right? Then when you pan down, look, they're getting lighter. Look at that. Caucasian. But when you go further up, you can see the darkness of the skin tone. Okay, look at this one. Christ, black. Look at the angels around Christ, black. So how did they get from as black as this to the Caucasian ones I just showed you about a few seconds ago? This is where it was from. This is where it's from here. Look. Look at these black images of the saints and the prophets. Look how black the saints and the prophets are. This is on, it says the last judgment, west facade. That's Christ in the center with the archangels around him. Look at that. Look how powerful that is. Black. Power coming from him. Look at that. 1488. The last judgment detail. Now this one I thought was interesting. Okay. I've showed y'all this before. I want y'all to look at the color difference between this guy and the angel. Look at the angel's black face. And look at this guy. And look at the white woman with chains around her neck. Let's zoom in on the angel. That's the angel we just saw. Black. Here's the hand of God. Black. Who's being judged? Esau, the white man. I want you to look at the color difference between this guy and the angels and the hand of God and the angel here. Look at the color difference. We know when something's been whitewashed or not. This is white folks. These, how could I forget about this? White folks in chains, Edomites in chains on the judgment day. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? There's chains around these white folks' necks. Shackles. Look at that. Chains on their ankles. Who's passing the judgment? Look at the black angel. Look at the black hand of God. Do y'all see that? And this guy's next. But I don't want to go to the lake of fire. You're going, buddy. And you're going into slavery. For all the sins of your fathers, because you're all your fathers. You are your fathers. 1488, people. 1488. Seventh trump. Trump is blowing. The angels blowing a horn, and look at the resurrection of the dead. Look at the black faces. Y'all see that? The dead is rising. The dead. Let me try and see if I can get closer up in this book. And I'll tell you, this book is a shadow of the book that I had. Let's get some more. This is the judgment of Ishmael, the Arabs being judged. The saints, I see they tried to touch them up, but they still brown, dark brown. Get some more. See, in the last book I had, it said that these, if I'm not mistaken, were the prophets. Black. But I can see that they touched them up. I see it. I can see it. Look at this. Look at the black angels at the bottom down here. Look at that. There's an angel. There's Mary. Look at these saints. Black. Angel, black, seraphim. black. And you know what? You got these stupid people. I'm going to say this. Listen good to what I'm about to say. You got some stupid people out there that say, no, all images are sin. No, only if you worship them. Remember when the Lord had Moses tell a brother to build the Ark of the Covenant. What did he tell him? He said, put images of 2 angels on the Ark. When King Solomon built the temple for the Lord, he said, I want angels, images of angels in the temple. You can read about that in the book of Chronicles. He also said, I want 12 lions on the stairs, and I want bullocks in the temple yard. So these dudes don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know the Bible. What they do hate is our people waking up to the truth that they're the Israelites. And we're coming back to the truth with proper images to show our sons and our daughters. That pisses them the hell off. All right, I'm back to the book, Russian Icons. I'm showing you these Greek Orthodox people, how they have paintbrushes, and their job is to paint over all the black images of Christ, the apostles, and all the leaders of Russia. Look, here's Christ black in the background. Let's see what this guy's doing. Let's pull back. Look, they're painting white images or painting over black images, whitewashing them as they call it. It's called iconoclasm. Look in the background here, black image of a Russian leader. They hide all this history. They all work together. They all work together. That's Christ. Black. Look. Painted over all the black images, made them white. That's why they say critical race theory is dangerous in schools. They don't want the Israelites to enter the school system and bring this out. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in right there. That's Mary and that's baby Christ. Well, if that's the baby Christ black, then who in the hell is this? Who in the hell is this? That's the Antichrist, the 666. Caesar Borgias. All these black images. In Russia. A treatise on physical geography. I'm going to pull a couple of things out of this book. I just want y'all to pay very close attention. Thus the Jews are a people who have ever, according to the prophecy, dwelt alone, without intermixing with the nations to this day. Now this separate race all descended from brown ancestors. The word for right there, for means because. For Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob must have been as dark as Mar Yohanan, if not darker, exhibit every shade of color from the black Jews of Malabar. Let's jump down. The Spanish Jew was always dark complexion, and his hair is uniformly black. The various shades of color observable among the Negro or African race tends to the same conclusion. Along the coast of Guinea, which is low, marshy, and hot, we find jet black complexions, and this is the very country from which American Negroes have been derived. So here they explain that the Jews are black. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were black. All right, brothers, all right, sisters, you saw it for yourself. You saw it for yourself. I pray you, brothers and sisters, glean something out of that look into our history. Well, today's commentary is going to be on the Reverend Professor Ioan Sauca. I know you never heard of him. I never heard of him either. But he is the General Secretary of the World Council of Churches. That's right. I've been talking about the World Council of Churches for a little bit of time now. I spoke about it years ago. I'm bringing it back up now again because it's in the news, Now, the Reverend Professor Ioan Sauca, he has an accent. So I'm not going to really interrupt him in this clip. I need y'all to just pay very close attention to what he's saying for your sake and mine. Now, he has a very unassuming look. He's non-threatening. He doesn't raise his voice. In fact, he appears somewhat friendly. And most would not pay him any mind, no attention whatsoever. That's game, brothers and sisters. That's game. And pay close attention to what he says. And I'll be back with my commentary. All right, and when I say unassuming, if you look at the views for the World Council of Churches, they get like maybe 50 views at the most. All right, so, but it's all game. So let's take a look, let's take a listen, and I'll be right back with my commentary on the Reverend Professor Sauca of the World Council of Churches.
Our newly restructured Jerusalem liaison office is monitoring the situation and in cooperation with the local churches continues in a meaningful way our work and presence in the Holy Land. As a fellowship of churches, we must stand in solidarity and act with determination to oppose attacks and incursions by radical groups who seek to destroy the religious and cultural diversity of the region. The Week of Prayer for Christian Unity, with the focus on Middle East this year, has helped the fellowship deepen its commitment and solidarity with our sisters and brothers in the region. We must continue. Our work on interreligious dialogue and cooperation has continued and strengthened. The list of visits and events of cooperation with interfaith partners in the attached list speaks for itself. I just want to share with you shortly about my most recent experience. I returned recently to Geneva from a meeting of the Higher Committee of Human Fraternity in Dubai. The Higher Committee on Human Fraternity was founded following the signing in February 2019 of the document on human fraternity for world peace and living together by Pope Francis and the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Professor Dr. Ahmed Al-Tayeb. Why is this important? Because it brings together representatives from the three Abrahamic faiths and personalities from the secular world. Its whole basis is that we share one humanity. We are all God's children. We come from one family, and we are sisters and brothers despite our differences. The WCC has a high profile in such meetings, and its vision and spiritual perspective as a faith-based organization are deeply appreciated. A strong foundation for our future. As acting General Secretary, I have made the Assembly a priority because it is the moment when the fellowship will set direction for the future and renew the Church's commitment to unity and common witness in Christ. It gives me great joy to report that a consensus has developed in favor of the applications for membership in the WCC of the First African Mission Church in Nigeria and the Apostolic Faith Mission of South Africa. Both the Permanent Committee on Consensus and Collaboration and the Executive Committee recommend receiving both churches as new members. Receiving new member churches will be a cause for celebration.
I'm going to translate what he said because he has that very thick accent. So here goes. You guys can rewind the tape, rewind the video, and watch it again for yourselves. But this is what he said in bulk. I returned recently from a meeting of the Higher Committee of Human Fraternity in Dubai. The Higher Committee of Human Fraternity was founded following the signing in February 2019, the document on human fraternity for world peace, and living together by Pope Francis and the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Professor Dr. Ahmed Al-Diga. Why is this important? Because it brings together representatives from the three Abrahamic faiths and personalities. Its whole basis is that we share one humanity. We are all God's children. We come from one family, and we are sisters and brothers, despite our differences. The WCC, World Council of Churches, has a high profile in such meetings, and its vision and spiritual perspective is a faith-based organization. A strong foundation for our future. As acting General Secretary, I have made the Assembly a priority because it is the moment when the fellowship will set direction for the future and renew the church's commitment to unity and common weakness in Christ. And then he goes on to explain how they accepted the applications of the First African Mission Church in Nigeria as a new member and the Apostolic Mission Church in South Africa. That's my translation for Reverend Professor Ioan Sauca. Let's read, how does a church become a member of the World Council of Churches? I'm on their website. I'm under how does a church become a member? All right, let's jump down. Second paragraph. It reads, applicant churches are asked to give an account of their faith and witness as they relate to the purposes and functions of the WCC, World Council of Churches. A prospective member must evidence sustained autonomous life and organization and constructive ecumenical, that means unity, relations with other churches in its country. An applicant church must, see, it's not an applicant in terms of one member, it's a church application. An applicant church must ordinarily have at least 50,000 members. Wow, you see that? Churches with more than 10,000 but less than 50,000 members are eligible for membership without the right to participate in decision-making in an assembly. All right, you've seen it for yourself. You heard it for yourself. Now let's get into my not really short, my commentary today regarding the Reverend Professor Ioan Sauca. And if I'm mispronouncing his name, y'all can correct me, put in the comments below. But I do believe that is how his name is pronounced. Now, for quite some time now, I've been speaking in regards to the World Council of Churches. I said also that the General Secretary, which is Reverend Professor Sauca, that he has an accent and he has a very unassuming look. He's non-threatening. He appears somewhat friendly, and most people would not pay him any mind. If you can take a look at, I did a screenshot of the video I watched. I want you to see after several days, he only has 32 views or so. And that's pretty much, when you look at all the videos on the World Council of Churches, nobody pays them any attention. Those are the ones you got to be careful of. All right. Remember, to be a voting member, you must have a membership of 50,000 people. Do the math. And remember, a church in Nigeria and South Africa just joined. Not only that, but the World Council of Churches has now joined, listen good, now joined the Abrahamic Family House under Pope Francis. Remember, the Roman Catholic Church never joined the World Council of Churches because the Roman Catholic Church believes they are the mother church. And all those denominations broke off. Protestant, other Catholic sects broke off from the Roman Catholic Church. So she never joined the World Council of Churches. Okay, understand that, because she has separated herself and she is the mother of them all. So what happened as a result? Now, the World Council of Churches has now joined the Abrahamic Family House under Pope Francis. So all those denominations are now under the Roman Catholic Church. And right now, things are relatively quiet. Nothing's happening at all. Nothing's going on. But you hold on. You just hold on. All right. Let me show you a video clip, because you might have forgotten. Let me show you a video clip regarding the Abrahamic family houses. Take a look at the video. It started with joint prayer, a gathering of followers of the three Abrahamic religions, called for by the Higher Committee of Human Fraternity and supported by Mohammed bin Zayed, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, followed by joint prayer between Emiratis and Israelis. Then a plan to build a multi-religious complex in Abu Dhabi was revealed. The complex includes a mosque, a church, and a synagogue. All these initiatives are led by the United Arab Emirates and the Pope as part of its role in promoting a new Abrahamic alliance. Jews praise Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Christians praise Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Muslims praise Ibrahim, peace be upon him. So Allah the Almighty spread Ibrahim's love among all these sects, the people of the book, along with the religion of Islam. That is why it's called the Abrahamic House, a new religion based on mixing together Islam, Christianity, and Judaism and erasing their differences by reinterpreting religious texts under the label of reforming religious discourse. But the concept was rejected by the Sheikh of Al-Azhar in Egypt. These claims, even if they appear from the outside like an invitation to human exchange, but is in fact a call to erase the most precious possession of humankind, which is freedom of religion, freedom of belief, and freedom of choice. The UAE, United Arab Emirates, is the most prominent supporter of the idea of establishing a unified international religion. Those who dream of spreading it see the religion of Islam as the last obstacle to achieving this dream. The question is that Islamist ideology, whether it's of the Sunni Brotherhood through to ISIS, the Shia version represented by the Islamic State of Iran, the question is, how do you defeat that and end up with a region in which people are educated to be open-minded? In 2014, the United Arab Emirates established the Forum for Promoting Peace in Muslim Societies, headed by Sheikh Abdullah bin Bayah, who participated in the Abrahamic Initiative Forum in December 2020 at the invitation of the United States Department. Then in 2019, it launched the Alliance, with the signature of leaders representing the three religions to announce their intention to open what they called the Abrahamic Family House as a center for mixing between all religions. Is the UAE promoting a new religion? All right, you saw it for yourself. You saw it for yourself. Located in the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Okay, that's now I'm not saying that they're not building more. They are, but that's the first one that's made public. All right, but now in terms of the church, I want to discuss the term church because many times or sometimes some of you are new, you come into this truth and you hear a lot of people use the terminology church and your mind automatically shifts to these various false and lying denominations. Well, let me tell you something. In the Bible, the only church is the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me say it again. The only church in the Bible is the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm going to prove it. Can I prove it? You bet I can. Let's go to Acts chapter 7, verse 38. Actually, I'll start at 37. This is that Moses, which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel, which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us. Who was the church in the wilderness with the angel on Mount Sinai? The 12 tribes of Israel. We received the laws at the hand of Moses. That was not given to other nations. That was only given to the 12 tribes of Israel. And it was our job to subdue and teach the other nations God's laws. But we failed. But my point out of these two verses is that the church is only making reference to the 12 tribes of Israel. It ain't making reference to the Roman Catholic Church. It ain't making reference to the Protestant Church.
Have him as a so-called, what you call Jewish. Those people are not the real Jews. In the Bible, it tells you that. They even know it. We spoke to them. They know they're not the real Jews. Come on. They're converted. Okay? They're converted.
I still would like you to have those verses.
You gotta do some research.
I will. I'll bring it back.
You want to find out about it?
Not too many people. That's what I'm asking.
If anybody wants to find out about us, you or them, we're called Israel United in Christ.
That's right.
Israel United in Christ.
It ain't talking about none of that crap. So that's why we got to be born again. We got to shake our minds clean of the lies. So now, the World Council of Churches are now under Pope Francis. One religion, one faith. Really? Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. And what I'm going to do is just read down. I want y'all to this is during the Greek captivity. And what I'm reading here in the Greek captivity is going to happen again, according to 2 Esdras 16, according to Matthew, the 24th chapter. Okay? Listen. 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus, or Antiochus, wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. You see that part right there? One people? That sounds just like democracy. That sounds just like Christianity. We must be one people. But now let's see how, what's the word? Diabolical it gets. Verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king, meaning all the nations agreed according to the commandment of this white man. Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. Oh, so you had many Israelites that consented to this religion. See, this unifying of all being one people is a religion. And it's going to explain itself as we keep reading. Watch this. And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So what were some of the rules or guidelines of this new world religion? Sacrifice unto idols and profane God's Sabbath day. Let's read on. Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice, and drink offerings in the temple, that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. You see that part right there? Now we know right today we're not doing burnt offerings and sacrifice or drink offerings in the temple. But we do celebrate the Sabbaths and we do celebrate God's festival days. It says those days were forbidden. Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Verse 47. Watch this. Set up altars. And groves and chapels of idols. Churches of idols. And sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So they had us to sacrifice pig, hog maws, chitlins, chitterlings, and eat unclean beasts. That's your possum. That may be your horse, your turtle stew, raccoon, whatever it is. I want you to pay very close attention. Listen good, listen good. Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised. See, we see in the news how atheists are rising up saying that circumcision is barbaric, and we really tend to turn a blind eye to it. But when this new world religion is established, watch that come to fruition. Watch this. And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Verse 49. To the end that they might forget the law. Forget what law? God's law. And change all the ordinances. Change all what ordinances? God's ordinances. Change them all. Verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Meaning kill him or her. See, we sleep on this. We read it. Remember what the Apostle Paul said. And we read it, but we really don't understand what he's saying. Romans 15:4, please. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. You see that? Those things which were written before times was written for our learning. You see that? I hope y'all understand that. Now, watch the prophecy. Watch this. I ain't going to read it all for time's sake. Watch this. 2nd Esdras. Go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. I'm going to highlight some key points here. Let's look at verse 68. Here's a prophecy. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. See, Esdras was prophesying things to come. So now the first thought is, okay, well, that happened during the Greeks. You just read that in 1 Maccabees. Yes, that did happen. But guess what? It happened during the time of Rome. It happened during the time of Spain. See, y'all forget the history I've been showing y'all in Spain. Remember, in Spain, to show allegiance to the church, the Roman Catholic Church, we had to do what? We had to be water baptized, celebrate Lent, a 40 days wherein you were not allowed to eat meat, only fish. That was it. And many other things, and the worship of idols. Let's read on, verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. Some of you Israelites are going to give into this new religion. Okay? Listen good to what I'm saying. Especially a lot of you weak brothers and that don't study, you single sisters with a whole barrel of kids. You was Miss Independent, Miss Feminist. Watch this, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. See, you thought it was just for back then. You say, no, it could never happen in America. God bless America. Because you really love this place. You really don't see things changing here. All your little freedoms that you have for freedom of religion, freedom of speech, it's going to go out the door, out the door, out the door. It's gone soon. Just sit back. The Lord is being patient with us. Oh, I know. You thought you was going to get the kingdom just because you say you believe. And meanwhile, you gossip, you slander, you hate your brothers and sisters, you despise in your heart your brothers and sisters. You thought you was going to get the kingdom. Oh, no. You got to go through what we just read first. If you don't die before this comes to pass, let me say it this way. In order for you to get the kingdom, before this occurs, you must die first. Then you'll be resurrected and get the kingdom. But if you are alive when this takes place, you're going through this tribulation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no escaping it. You're going to prove yourself to the one true God. You're going to prove yourself to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You're going to prove it with your life. Some of you going to live through it. Some of you not. Some of you going to die in the midst of it. Listen good to what I'm saying. I know your churches don't teach about this thing. I know your grandpooba don't talk about this. Oh, yeah, but it's going to come to pass. Now, the Reverend Professor Ioan Sauca, the General Secretary of the World Council of Churches, remember I said that he has a very unassuming look, a very non-threatening look, like your school teacher in elementary school look. Well, they have that appearance for a reason. Let's look at Psalms 55. You know what I want. Psalm 55 around verse 21. Watch this. No, I'll start at 20. Psalm 55, 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. His covenant is his constitutional arrangements, agreements with the nations. Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. What does that mean? Jesus loves you, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. See, all that religiosity, that speaking of love for all mankind. Watch what it says. I'm going to read it 21 again. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. See that? His ultimate agenda is the destruction of the 12 tribes of Israel that keep the commandments. Let's read on. His words were softer than oil. Jesus loved the little children over the hills and everywhere. The hell is this? His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. What does that mean? War was in his heart. See that? I hope y'all see that. Now watch this. Let's go from there to Daniel 8:25. Now I can read on, but I'm just going to jump around. Jump around. Watch this. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel 8:25. Watch this. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. You see that right there? What I want you to focus on, let's highlight this. And by peace shall destroy many. That's that one world religion, all being one. We just read that in Maccabees. Don't sleep. It happened under Rome. It happened under Spain. It's going to happen here in America and in Europe and throughout the world. Watch. Listen. Watch this. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 8 now. 1 Maccabees chapter 8. And I want verse 4. And that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place, though it was very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. What is this talking about? When you jump up to verse 1, it tells you. It says, now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men. Jump back to verse 4. And that by their policy and patience, they had conquered all the place. See, they used policies of peace to conquer nations. They get in your good side, they move in with their military and all that, and it's all a setup. It's a setup, bro. It's a setup.
That's a setup, bro. That's a setup, bro. Bro, that's a setup, bro. You said that's a setup? Bro, because that's a setup, bro. Huh? That's a setup, bro. I just get robbed, bro. I just get robbed, bro. No, that's a setup, bro. What the fuck? That's a setup, bro. That's a setup.
We so sleep. We've been so drunk in the religions of the world, the religions that's all being broadcast through television, that we missed the big picture of what's about to come. Okay. Now, remember what we read in Second Esdras about those that, let me read it again because I'm going to misquote it, and then I'll get an email talking about, you misquoted it, Bishop. I don't want to misquote. Let's go back to Second Esdras, chapter 16. Let's go right back there again. Watch this. And verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Here it comes. And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Remember in Maccabees it said, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. See, this is letting us know that even amongst us that are keeping the commandments as Israelites in the faith of Christ, many of our people that allegedly repent, who have no hedge, no head, you don't study, you have no root in yourselves, you're going to give in when this comes to pass. Okay? You're going to join with them. That's why verse 69 says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. What happened with those Israelites that betrayed their brothers and sisters? Oh, they were imprisoned too. Many of them put to death. That's what's going to happen. It happened in the past. It's going to happen again. Okay. Now, Proverbs 11:21. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21. It reads, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. That's for you Israelites who, when this time comes and you betray Christ, because that's who you ain't betraying me. You're betraying the one true God. You're betraying the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That's what it means when it says, though hand join in hand, because you're going to leave us to join hands with the wicked. The wicked shall not be unpunished. Their judgment is still coming. But the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. What does that mean we're going to be delivered? That's going into the kingdom. That's going into the kingdom. Isaiah 8:9. Y'all know the lineup. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 9 reads, Associate yourselves, O ye people. Meaning what? You want to associate yourselves with the enemies of God, with the Edomites. I want to be friends with them. I want to join this one world religion that's coming. Let's read it again. Verse 9. Associate yourselves, O ye people, and ye shall be broken in pieces. And give ear, all ye of far countries. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. There's nothing you can do to save yourself once you join or betray those that follow the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Once you betray us, you're betraying the Lord. There's no hope for you. Okay? Verse 10 reads, take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. You sit down with the enemies of God taking counsel, it's going to come to nothing. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us. I hope y'all see that. For the Lord spake thus to me, with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say ye not, a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy. Neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. See, we're not afraid of the fears that you fear. See, you're afraid of death, famine, death by sword, death by disease. That's why we are meant to build ourselves up in this truth to overcome such fears. Okay? Matthew 24. Matthew 24. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to start. Where do I want to start? Verse 23. Watch this. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. What is Christ talking about here? There's coming a time. See, Christ was prophesying after the Greek captivity. He was prophesying twofold, threefold for the times to come when Rome decimated us, when Spain decimated us, and when America and Europe decimated us. Let's read that again. Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs, meaning false preachers and teachers, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. These great signs and wonders is the science of this white man of today. Insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But it ain't possible. Watch this. Verse 25. Behold, I have told you before. Christ is saying, behold, I told you this already. I'm telling you again. Verse 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. What does that allude to? Behold, he is in the desert. Remember what I showed y'all about the Abrahamic family house? Where is it located? The desert, in the United Arab Emirates. The Spirit of the Lord is there. Go there. Now, I do believe, now I could be wrong, but I do believe they're going to build similarities to that in America and in Europe. But that's just my opinion for right now. But as we do know, they've built one in the desert. And it's a major tourist attraction where people from all around the world want to see this thing. Okay. What verse was I in? Verse 26 again. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. Okay. So remember this. I want you to remember. The question might be, well, how would they identify us? How would they identify that we serve the living God? The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great God Yahweh. How would they identify us? Oh, there's several ones. There's many ways. I'm going to show you right now. Just pay close attention. You brothers and sisters, remember this book, The Other, 1492? Jewish Settlement in the New World by Norman H. Finkelstein. Let's go to page 29. I just want to show you something. Pay close attention. Judaizing was a difficult crime to detect. What is Judaizing? Israelites that keep the commandments. It reads on, the inquisitors had a law passed which listed over 30 ways to recognize the guilty. Here are a few of the telltale signs. So we're going to read a few signs of how they identified Judaizing, those that kept the laws of God. 1, celebrating the Sabbath. Remember in Maccabees, they forbid that thing. But during the time of Spain, many of our people were still celebrating it and getting put to death. Celebrating the Sabbath by wearing a clean shirt, not lighting a fire, or not working. Now, this part here, we always wear clean clothes every day, but when it goes into the shirt, it's going into the dress code that the Lord gave us in Numbers 15. The fringes and the border of blue. Oh, yeah, they're going to identify us that way. Not lighting a fire, meaning cooking, not by cooking on the Sabbath. They're going to identify us not working. Look at this, verse number 2. Eating meat during Lent, because the Catholic Church established a law that everyone had to celebrate Lent and not eat meat. Like you read in Timothy, the 4th chapter. Eating meat during Lent, a Christian period of fasting from clean meat. Verse number 3, not eating or drinking on the Jewish Day of Atonement. If you didn't eat or drink on the Day of Atonement, they identified you as an Israelite. Look at verse number 6, not eating pork. They identified you as an Israelite, a Judaizer, if you didn't eat pork or any unclean food. Remember we read about that in Maccabees. They were forcing us to do that, eating pork, unclean foods, and things offered to idols. And look at verse number 7, giving Old Testament names to children. Not so much to children, but just having an Old Testament name identified you as an Israelite. Okay, if your last name is Israel, your surname is Israel. You think I'm scared? I ain't afraid. Never be afraid, brothers and sisters. I know some of you women, especially you single, and I'm not changing my name. You simple as hell. Then don't even wear fringes. Don't celebrate the Sabbath day. It's going to come. It's going to come. Okay? And all of the tribulation that is to come is meant to prove those brothers and sisters whether or not they truly love the Lord or not. Because right now, everybody says they love the Lord. But wait until this returns. You just wait. You're going to see the real from the fake. All right? You're going to see on that day. We going to see. What you're looking at is Antichrist. What you're looking at is the image of the beast. What you're looking at is 666. The white man, remember, has established his satanic religion, white supremacy, whether he calls it Roman Catholicism or he calls it Protestantism. It's the same evil filth. And what the white man does is hires black people, taskmasters, to watch us and observe us, to try and keep us in line, like you're seeing here on the screen. You'll see this black minister giving out food to the slaves. This is the black minister, and he's not on his own. The white man is observing him to make sure he keeps the slaves in line. Okay? So I often tell y'all this. Tribulation is coming. We're at the brink of it. We're in the beginning stages of it. Rumors of war. Okay, the pandemic, this is just the beginning. It's going to escalate. Once these blacks fail to keep the Israelites in line with their false narratives, the white man's going to come against us and slaughter and kill and imprison many Israelites. It's biblical. You can read about that in 2 Ezra 16, Matthew 24. Look, take a look at the black woman. She always got to be the loudest. Look at the white man observing the slaves, making sure they stay in order. This is what's happening in the society today. It happened during the time of Christ. Just take a look at the loud black woman. She's often loud, obnoxious, don't want a man, can't keep a man, got to be out in front, Okay, got so much to say, always overweight generally. Hates God's laws, like when you read Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, women shall not wear what men wear. She don't give a damn about that. She's going to dress like a man, act like a man, and try to be soft-spoken. She attempts to be soft-spoken, but generally she is not. And if there's a man, black man with her, he's just on the side. He's docile. He's somewhat effeminate. And so anyway, I said all that to say this. They hired black people to come against the truth that the Israelites are teaching. And it's going to fail. Look at the white man observing. He's going to fail miserably. Okay, and he's going to come against us. Expect it. All right, so take a look, take a listen. I lie not. These black people are on a mission. The black woman is on a mission to try to destroy the truth that our people are the Israelites and must keep the commandments. And I'm getting on a black woman because she's often in front. But it's also the black man, too, behind the scenes with his docile self. So, brothers, sisters, take a look, take a listen for yourself.
I'm Lisa Fields.
I'm Christopher Lamarck. And I'm Don Carey. We're the creators of The Unspoken Documentary, which is a film that traces the Christian heritage of Africa to dispel the notion of Christianity being a white man's religion.
Yes, and this is a vital, vital topic for our day. Many of us have been walking around, meeting people, knowing people who walked away from the church, and they always have this question: is Christianity a white man's religion? I know you probably heard it from your kids that walked away from the faith, your family members, your friends, and you've probably yourself been wrestling with it at times when you see the state of culture today. Well, we wanted to create a resource that will help you to be able to answer these objections in a way that people are getting information today.
So research shows that 75% of men would rather watch a story on a movie as opposed to reading it in a book. And so why the documentary? Well, we want to get this information out there in a way that's engaging, powerful, and immersive.
Yeah, I remember when we were at a June 3 Project HBC tour stop at Bethune-Cookman University, a young man came to the mic with tears in his eyes and said his friends had been challenging him on this notion that Christianity is the white man's religion, and their objections were compelling to him, and he didn't have the information to refute what they were saying, and he was about to walk away from the faith. And he said to us, I came here tonight because this was my last resort. If I don't get the answers I need, I'm going to walk away from the faith. We've been working on this project for over 4 years, and we're excited that it has been filmed, edited, and ready to go. It's coming to you very soon, but we don't want to just do this alone. We want to do it alongside of you. We want to give you the opportunity to join us in this unprecedented effort to tell the story of Christianity from Africa to America that is going to impact millions of lives across the world.
Oh yeah, you'll make a good house nigga.
The Israelites have been teaching you that the true teachings of Christ, keeping the commandments, and that Christ is our black Messiah, has been in Africa for a long time. You can read about that in Acts chapter 2, verse 10, where it mentions how the gospel was taught in Egypt, Libya, and Cyrene, which is North Africa, and Acts 8, verse 27, where the gospel was taught to the Ethiopian brother. Okay, so it's nothing new. But what these people, these black Christians want you to think is that white supremacy of a Caucasian Jesus teaching not to keep God's laws have been in Africa. No, not from the beginning. No, 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 no. That thing came when Rome destroyed everything. Then the lies came. And that's what these black Christians are pushing. These black Christians are pushing white supremacy, and they're trying to disguise it. Brothers and sisters, be warned, be aware, and don't be deceived by them at all. All right, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters. All right, this first one here is from Nabiya. Shalom, Bishop. This is Sister Nabiya, or as they say, Patricia. Shake my head now. No, shaking my head, no. But that's just until I can get enough money to change it to what it's supposed to be. But really, truly, praying this finds you and your family blessed, healed, and all well. And we all are truly thankful to the Most High for you and all of IUIC. You are all awesome kings of the Lord. I know my giving is not much, but I know little is much when God is in it. That's right. And I want to be able to put in my bricks as often as I can and as much as I can. But in my case, I guess maybe I'll just say a pebble here and a pebble there. LOL, laugh out loud. But many pebbles can make a big brick. True, you're right about that. All praises. You are all blessed and stay safe. Loving and praying for all of my IUIC family and all my brothers and sisters on the four corners of the earth. We are nigh at the door, and I sure can't wait to go home. Loving all those that are true in the God of Israel. All praises. Thank you so much, Nabiya. Thank you so much. All praises. All right, the next one is from Kay McGinnis. Most High in Christ blessed. We don't celebrate the holidays anymore. We did our first Feast of Tabernacles and Feast of Dedication this year in our remote location. Well, all praises. Keeping the commandments and studying. Thanks for teaching us the truth. All praises. Thank you, Kay McGinnis. Thank you so, so much. All right, the next one is a letter from Brother Ephraim. All right, from IUIC LA. Shalom, Bishop, Most High in Christ, bless you all. Hope you and the family are doing well. Just checking in on you. Lord's will, you're getting much better. Also, shout out to Mighty Deacon Ioan, all praises, and Mighty Deacon Asaph. Also to the brothers over there on the other side of the earth and in Puerto Rico, all praises. Also, Captain Gedaliah, all praise to the Most High God. Great class from these mighty men. Just also wanted to give you some feedback on the IUIC page. Monthly exclusive content. The play button on the bottom of the screen does not go away, and the top right for the donate button does not go away. So you can't really enjoy watching the videos. Okay, I'll have to make sure people are aware of that. Hoping IT can get on that. Shout out to whoever did that Moses and the burning bush. That was the art team for the Israel United in Christ watch and read. Amazing look, like it was full animation. We need more things like this to show our people. Images, everything. And just wanted to ask, could you use this scripture when you're getting tried in the fire? Psalms 109, verse 1 through 8. Yes. I did send a letter a couple of weeks ago. I don't think you got it. Did not see it. You have to refresh my memory on that one. But hopefully you will. Final question. I got some blessing that the Most High bestowed upon me, and I just wanted to use counsel from leadership to make sure I'm able to support. The Most High, also got bills, so I need help with this. Okay. With that being said, Lord's will, everybody in the body prepares for what's to come. I did get those water cans you suggested. All praises. Lord's will, we stock up with that being said. Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless you all. All praise to the Most High God. Shalom, Bishop. You left your phone number. P.S. I remember you did a few drawings for the IOIC watch and read. I know you still got it, Bishop. You have a lot of gifts. Shalom. Oh, you can show the photos. All praises. There's a photo of you and Deacon Ioan. All praises. When there's a little note here. I sent blankety blank to this link. Just wanted to make sure you got it. Let me see. Yes. Yes, sir. All praise to the Lord. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to get this. I got to hold this to the side have Deacon Asaph reach out to you. All right. The next one is a letter from Mary A.G. I don't know if it's Mary or Mary A.G. of Inglewood, California. Dear Bishop, God bless you and your family. I hope and pray that you are getting better. I love you and hope to see you very soon. I miss seeing your beautiful black face. Preaching the word of our Heavenly Father. God bless you and your family. Shalom, Bishop. Sister Mary G. All praises. Thank you so, so much. All right. And this one says salvation and honor and power. Hallelujah. Friday, December 31st. All right. There is a lot of things, or a lot of scriptures. I I'll read a few. Numbers 18, verse 19, covenant of salt forever before the Lord. After 2, I don't know what that word says. Psalms 144:1, blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. That's right. Psalms 144:12, what is that word? Sculptured in palace style, that our barns may be full, supply all kinds of produce. Verse 15, happy are the people whose God is the Lord. Psalm 68:28, your God has commanded your strength. Shout out to Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasop, Bishop Kenai. All deacons, captains, officers, soldiers, and saints, all praises. Blessed are all the shows and classrooms, radios, and camp schools on the four corners. All praises, all praises. This is from Atira. Enjoy what God gives you, Proverbs 30:2, Romans 7:15. Please, elders, pray my kidneys. Doctors found a spot on my right kidney and a mass in midsection. Definitely going to add you to the prayer list. Lord's will. Proverbs 19, not Lord's will, we add you to prayer list. You got Lord's will regarding what the doctor saw on your kidney and asking for prayer. You definitely will get the prayer. You wrote Lord's will. I didn't write that in there. Proverbs 19:17, he who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he has given. All praises. Help. Due to sickness, illness, afflictions, it's getting, I think that says getting able to fast. I'll send your phone number. I see you got your phone number there. I'll send it. I'll give it to Deacon Asaph and have him reach out to you. Okay? All praises. All right. So shout out donations. We're going to give a shout out to P. Brooks of Dalton, Illinois. Shout out to R. Brooks Jr. of Dalton, Illinois. Shout out to Charlie W. Jr. of Houston, Texas. Shout out to Zenice L. Thank you, Zenice. Shout out to Jennifer E. All praises. Shout out to Billy R.S. Billy R.S. All praises of Alabama. All right. Goodwater, Alabama. Shout out to E. Boatwright. Shout out to K.M. McGinnis. All praises. Shout out to Gwen R. Gwen R. again. All praises. Shout out to Gwen R. again. Shout out to Gwen R. again. And shout out to Gwen R. again and again. All praises. Shout out to Michelle B. All praises. Shout out to Michelle B. again. Shout out to C. Kemp. All praises, C. Kemp. Shout out to Alice H. Shout out to Loretta M. of Snellville, Georgia. Shout out to Michi G. All praises of Inglewood, California. Shout out to J. Lyman of Fort Worth, Texas. Shout out to Jackie M. and Jackie M. again. Thank y'all so much, brothers and sisters. You know how I love to say, let's all of us stay healthy, let's stay faithful, let's stay focused, but most of all, let's all of us stay in the spirit. Most High in Christ bless. Love you all. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.
off again. I'm chilling with my friends. I'm cleansing all the sin and resetting all the trends. It's Passover again.
Hey there, it's me again. As you know, Mel and I are working on a Passion of the Christ sequel. We're asking that you continue to support us in any way possible. And those of you whom have not yet donated to the Joseph's Dream short film, we want to give you a special thank you. Send those funds over to help us establish our vision. Jesus loves you, and God bless America.
The Messiah is a savior and a conqueror.
Joseph, follow me.